Sophie that night, didn't she? Went up to you, didn't she? She knew we were together, and she went up to you and felt your bum at the bar.
And
So like,
she what?
she felt James's bum at the bar.
What?
Oh.
I thought that's what you said.
Welcome back in, everyone. This is Black Girls Talking TV, where we bring the group chat to life and discuss all your favorite TV shows. Today, we have two lovely guests with us, James and Amy from Love is Blind UK. They made it out of the pods together, kind of, sort of. And so we're going to get into their story today. I am Victoria. I am one of your hosts, and I'm a psychologist.
And I'm Kamaria. I'm an attorney and a pop culture writer. And I will let our guests introduce themselves and maybe a fun fact.
Hi, I'm Amy, and fun fact about me. I actually got engaged on the show.
I'm James. Fun fact about me. Yeah, there was a situation when I was working in car sales about 6 years ago, and there was like 5 lads there, and we all actually auditioned for Love Island.
Oh,
Kidding
wow.
me.
I got quite far in it.
That's a fun fact right there,
That is
James.
a fun fact.
Tell you what, I think one of the biggest reasons why I didn't get in, I remember when I went to like maybe the 4th audition, I was like 32, 33 at the time. And yeah, I was well too old, I think. Because I think that season there was like 19-year-olds on there, so that would have been a bit weird.
Wow.
Yeah, they should have some older. I don't want to say
Folks on Love
older because
Island.
30 is not older, right? But like they should
Mhm.
have,
Yeah.
go up there a little bit in age. I think they did this last season of USA. But Amy, you said that, fun fact, you got engaged. Why do
I
you
did.
all feel like Netflix didn't choose you guys to tell your story?
I think it was because if viewers had watched it, it would have taken up a lot of time. Like, it wasn't your smooth sailing, straightforward storyline. And I think there was a lot of people involved in it. And I think they would have had to have shown everybody else for the storyline to have made sense. Because, like, even when you look back at last year, Benaya and I can't remember.
Nicole. Mm-hmm.
They left the pods, decided they didn't want to be with the person they got engaged to, and then they followed their storyline. I think because there was so many people intertwined with ours that it was like, oh, like we haven't got time for that, you know? So I think it was a kind of a lot to do with that, but also I do think that the person I did get engaged to, I potentially wasn't seeing it from my side, but I think maybe producers were seeing from their side that he potentially was not a very nice person.
Okay.
Oh,
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yes. So let's update the folks who don't know your love story. Like, tell us, like, how would you summarize it? We're gonna get into a little bit more detail throughout, but like, for those who just don't even know how your love story unfolded, like, how would you summarize kind of what happened and the journey you guys were on, from inside the pods to now?
Chaotic.
Yeah. It was an emotional roller coaster, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think we actually sort of knew deep down. I think I'll go into a little bit more detail later in the call, but I don't know. I think the last date that we had, I think one of us made a comment, something along the lines of, "What is it?
I don't think it was something like, I don't think this is the
I
end.
don't think
of
this is
us.
the end of us." So yeah, I've got a good idea of why it didn't happen. I actually think it was a case of fearing the rejection. I actually had second to last day, or maybe third to last day, up to proposal day. I had 3 strong connections. So I had Amy, Laurie, and Holly. Amy and Ross, they were pretty much, I wouldn't say they were locked in, but Ross was all for Amy. And it just got into a really weird situation where second to last day, I then got down to Holly and Amy. I told Amy my guts with her. She believes that's not strong enough, but I was.
I would have to agree.
I mean, I feel you on the guts strong. My gut's going with you, but I can see how it can be misconstrued.
I think it's almost me. I was almost, again, I'll admit it was probably the fear of rejection where I thought, shit, I don't want to go all out for Amy. So by me saying my guts with Amy, I'm almost sort of telling her, but if I
Mhm.
get rejected, I've not fully committed.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how it unraveled. And then because I then had Holly, and Holly was like all for me. Uh,
Mhm.
great girl, Holly is like, but obviously we just for whatever reason,
Mhm.
like I think it was the second to last date. She gave me a letter that her dad had wrote to her, which was like amazing. It was just an amazing little touch, and it meant a lot actually. But when I left that date with Holly on the second to last day, going into proposal day, like I couldn't sleep that night. I was like, my gut is with Amy. Holly is pretty much. If I ask Holly, she'll say yes. Holly, I don't think had any really strong connections by proposal day, so it was literally just me and Holly, Amy and Ross. So whether I just thought it's the easy option to just leave Amy and Ross to it, and I didn't fight for it enough. I wasn't like, hey,
Mm.
no, we got to do this. And the thing is, Ross was then coming into the boys' lounge, and he was a bit like, yeah, it's a done deal. It's a done deal.
Like, yeah, like
Like,
Dimala when he
yeah.
was like, "This is my wife. This is my
Yeah.
wife," and so you kind of just like,
So obviously Ross and Amy, the dates leading up to the proposal day must have, I don't know what went on, but by the sounds of it, it was very solid. So
mm,
Mm.
in my head, waking up a proposal day, I'm like, I, it's one of those situations where my gut's with Amy. I probably haven't told her enough
mhm,
for her to be super comfortable because she knows I've got 3 other connections.
mhm,
And Ross and Amy then had the first date on proposal day.
mm,
Ross proposed
propose,
and
mhm,
Amy said yes. I
mhm.
then went into Holly, just had a major meltdown.
Aw,
And I just said to Holly, like, I just can't do it. I can't. I've said my guts with Amy. It feels so wrong for me to propose to you now, because it's just not fair. It's not right on me. It's
mm,
not right on you.
mm,
And then we sort of made an agreement to maybe catch up in London together, but it never happened. And well, there's the
yeah.
next chapter is obviously the how then me and Amy got
Mm.
together. So yeah, is that about right? I think ish.
Yeah, I think for me as well, the night before proposal, so the day before proposal, we was told, do not make a decision. Do not make a decision. You've got tomorrow as well. And I remember thinking to myself, well, yeah, but tomorrow's proposal day. Like,
Mhm,
don't make a decision. Don't make a decision. And I remember thinking to myself, well, we must have another date tomorrow with these guys because I was in absolute turmoil. And
mhm.
as well, I'd kind of almost laid my cards on the table to Ross as well and said, yeah, I'm going with you. But that night before proposal day, I went home and similar to James, we weren't allowed to like speak to the girls outside of the lounge, and I was having an emotional meltdown, and I said to one of the girls, I was like, you're going to have to sneak to my room tonight because I need to speak to you about what I'm doing. And it just so happened that it didn't happen, and I was like, I don't know what to do, but I need to make a decision for my own well-being because I'm in turmoil. And the production team on proposal day were like, look, just see how the dates unfold, like see who you go into first. And I thought, I've not given James enough for him to propose to me, like, and I knew that Holly was obviously waiting for him to propose. And the first that they like pull you all in individually on proposal day, so it's not like your normal day where you all date at the same time, you're all taken in one by one. And they were like, right, Amy, you're up second, I think it was, and I didn't know who I was going into, but I went into Ross first.
So, question, producers choose the order of that proposal day.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
okay.
interesting. But it makes sense because when you're watching, sometimes they're like, I think there was a moment with Katisha and Javin when she walked in
Mhm.
and she was like, oh, like you're here. Like she had like a sigh of relief. And I was like, what's like, did she not know she was about to see him? So it makes
Yeah.
sense because you don't know exactly who's going to be on the other side.
And I almost wish I'd had that first date with James, because on that proposal day, you literally get, I think it's like 7 minutes. They're like, your dates today is 7 minutes. So it wasn't even like a full date of like 2 hours, which you'd been having in the lead up to it.
They're
And
like, get to it, propose or don't.
Yeah.
like, this is it. Like, I thought I was having another date. Like, I thought I had another date with Ross, another date with James, and then you
Ah.
was proposing or who you want to
Mhm.
go with. And Ross proposed, and I said yes, and I was just like, this isn't right. But then I just felt like Holly was on the other side of it. Like she was excited because she thought that I was going with Ross. So therefore she was buzzing because she thought James was going to propose to her. And then they took me out of the proposal and they held me away from the girls for about 3 hours.
Wow.
And then they were like I had lunch by myself. And then they were like, right, you're going to walk down now and go straight into the pod. And James had been sat in the pod for a while, thinking it would be Holly. And when I walked in and I was like, hi, and he was like, oh, it's you. And I was like, oh. I was like, that's very nice. And he was like, no, I've been psyching myself up to speak to Holly. And then he was like, I'm going to go first. So he started giving me this speech about like how my gut was with him, and he was like, I'm sorry I've not given you enough. And like I was expecting him to say like, I'm going to propose to Holly, and he went, if I'm not leaving here with you, I'm not leaving here with anybody. And I was just like,
And you had at this point already
I thought
accepted
he accepted
this.
Ross's, and I was like,
Wow.
can I go
Yeah.
back? And it's like he was like, I just know in my gut that if this had been on the outside, it would have been different. And he was like, I just don't feel like this is the end of us. And in that moment, I was like, yeah, I feel that as well. Like it was an absolute whirlwind. And
Tell you what would have been interesting, but again, I think this is probably down to me of fearing of rejection. That because I could have technically still have proposed to you, and then you would have had two proposals, and then you would have had to choose. It wasn't to say I'm not allowed to propose to Amy just because Ross has gone first, because obviously that's not fair. So they
Yeah.
she said just go with how you feel. And I think in hindsight, it would have been interesting if I had actually proposed, because then you would have had two proposals. But then, because in my head, I was 70% gonna propose to Holly, because I just thought like we've had an amazing 2 weeks, me and Holly. Like we've got right to the last day, so there's obviously something there. However, my gut's still with Amy, and it's just not fair. I can't go to second choice if my
Yeah.
gut's with Amy. She's
Yeah.
because she's got engaged to someone else, and then the night before, I just said to myself, I can't do that. I cannot propose to Holly. And who knows? It could have been a different story if I did, but we're here now, aren't we?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice that you're being like
Very
I guess
transparent
yeah,
about it.
transparent about how you feel and how you felt in that moment. Yeah, because like in my mind, I'm like, don't you know the girl wants the boombox on the shoulders?
Yeah.
Like, tell me that you love me, tell me that you're picking me. But the reality is that like you're being vulnerable in that moment, talking about how like it was a lack of vulnerability on your part, or
Yeah.
Exactly that.
And when we
that
actually
got in the way.
yeah, when we actually watched the show back and we saw Meg and Kieran, and like they're our really good friends now. And when we saw how vulnerable they were with each other, like their heart was on the table, and we both actually said to each other, I think we were both slightly guarded.
Yeah.
And we almost both wish we'd been a bit more vulnerable, but we were both quite scared of getting hurt.
Yeah, but I think the reason because of that is because Kieran and Megan were pretty tight from day dot, really. There wasn't too many complications. And I think I believe
Yeah.
that's the reason. Yeah, you've admitted yourself, because you knew I had Laurie and Holly 2 days before proposal. You're thinking, shit, I might get rejected here.
Yeah, and like Ross,
You know what I mean?
Ross was
So
sending me flowers. He was saying all the right
I
things.
want to send in anything to
Yeah.
anyone.
So it's so funny. Like we've talked to Javan and we've talked to Yolanda. And it's interesting, like one of the things we spoke with Yolanda is being in the pods and like having to face with either rejection and or having to deal with like, who are you picking? Are they picking you back? And so like talk a little bit about like the noise, the extra stuff that was going on, and like how, because you started kind of getting towards that, but like how that affected you, just, and how do you cope with that as a person in the pods? We have a new season of Love is Blind coming up. Like, what would you say to the girlies? Like, how to cope with that? And James, you as well. What would you say to the guys?
Do you know what I would say? And like, I'm very much like an open book in life in general. Like, if it's on my mind, I'll share it. But
Well, you didn't in the pods with me.
oh, it- it's been, I remember saying to you one day, I was like, when I go in the pod with Ross, my heart's with Ross, and then I come into the pod with you, and then my heart's with you, and it was just such an unnatural feeling to be dating multiple people and having these feelings. But my advice would be, keep your cards very close to your chest, because like there was a lot of outside noise of people being like, oh, he's saying this to me or he's saying that to me, and but Eve said that to me, and you're just like, oh really, like is he just one of these boys that's saying the same thing to everybody else? And I just wish I'd kept my cards a lot closer to my chest, because I feel like when the girls go on dates as well, like they obviously get more information from somebody than you do, and then they're feeding like, oh, did he say this to you? And you're like, oh well, he didn't tell me that about his dad, or he didn't tell me that about his sister. And you're thinking, oh gosh, well, they're obviously having more open conversations than what we are. So you start to question, like, is our connection as kind of strong as what you think it is? Like when it starts to come in to give gifts and things like that, like people start to really put their cards on the table, because the other 3 or 4 people that they're dating, it's a statement to be
Yeah.
like you,
It's marking your
you're my,
territory almost.
Well,
yeah,
that's what that was the whole sort of problem, because the way Amy saw it was Ross was giving Amy the gift like 3 days before, because Ross didn't have anyone else. So it's easy.
Yeah.
I had Holly and Laurie.
Mm.
I just think it's cruel. I think it's, if I've got 3 really strong connections and I'm giving one person a gift, because you can
You
only give
only give one person a gift?
only one person. So if I've
Wow.
got 3 strong connections, which I had, then even though it's 3 or 4 days before proposal, you're basically saying this is the girl that I want to propose to. And you've still got another 4 dates to go, and it's very harsh on the other 2 girls.
but like, so what you also don't see as well is Sophie was also dating Ross, and when
Interesting.
she comes in that day and she's like, get this mic off me, she's actually getting annoyed because she's walked, so obviously she's watched Kieran give Megan the gift, and then she comes in and she sees the flowers on the table for me from Ross, and she says to me, who are they from? And I'm like, they're off Ross. And she's like, nah, like, that's my other connection. She's like, get this mic off me. Like, what are we? I'm like, oh gosh, like it was very awkward.
Oh man.
Wow.
She said,
Yeah, no,
none of them
that's
for me. None of them are for
like,
me.
yeah, like that's a lot. That's a lot.
That is a
How,
lot.
Yeah,
so
and obviously, just one last thing on that is, which is even crazy. I'd actually not dated Sophie, but I'd met Sophie on a night out about 2 years.
before the pods?
Yeah. And so when we had our first date, we were like, hello, hello, and then we got maybe like 2-3 minutes in, and we were just like, yeah, I know who this is, and
Really?
madness.
Wow.
Wow.
That had to get put to bed quite quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
I had to, obviously the producers were like, obviously I can't say anything to anyone in the lounge, to any of the lads.
Mm,
Yeah, I know Sophie.
mm,
Keep that quiet.
mm,
But then another interesting part of that is obviously like Kieran's my boy, like we'll be like mates for life now, and he had a connection with Sophie like maybe the first week, but obviously I couldn't say anything to him. So yeah, it was mad, wasn't it? Absolutely madness.
Wow. Yeah, so it's what I'm hearing in terms of like advice too is not only keep your cards to your chest, but also like it's important to get out there and say what you want, because otherwise somebody else could snatch
That's
up.
that's what I would say, to like keep it short and sweet. just go with your gut or your spleen, and just go with it. Like, forget about the fear of rejection. Like,
Yeah.
if it happens, it happens. And I
Yeah.
think that's where I went wrong, and you
Mm,
to some degree.
yeah.
I think if it were just cards on the table, then it would have been a different
And it was quite hard for me because I'm such a loyal person. I'd almost laid my cards on the table with Ross and was like, yeah, like my loyalties are with him. And then as it was getting further into the dates and the dates were getting longer, I was like, oh, this is shifting. But I was like, I almost can't. Like I've given
Go
my
back up.
him. So it was like
Uh-huh.
that goes against every fiber in my body to be like, actually, I'm gonna go with somebody else.
Uh-huh. So like talk to me a little bit. I'm curious. Like you had a reveal of like an engagement with Ross. How was that? Like was it awkward? Were you like, no, this guy is great looking? Or what was your thoughts? Like where were you? What were your thoughts when you first
Um,
had your reveal?
Again, like I think you get like 6 or 7 minutes. I could be wrong. It's not a long period of time. And I remember the doors opened and I couldn't really see him because that corridor is long, right?
Oh,
And
and
just
you're
remember,
a blind baddie. That's what you are, like me.
I just remember walking towards him and I remember thinking, right, he's dressed smart. And as he got
Uh-huh.
closer, I was like, right, he's taller than me, like he's got nice
Mhm,
teeth.
mhm,
And like he got down on one knee and did the proposal. And then like
mhm,
we moved to the chair to the bench where everybody sits and we sat on there. And you kind of pick your head up and you've got about 40 cameramen like on the
Oh,
opposite
wow.
side. And you're
Wow.
like, oh wow, really, there's cameras everywhere. And he goes to me, he's like kissing me and he goes, I've got something to say to you. And I'm like, what? He's like, I love you. Face must have been like, what? Like, did he just say? And rather than like saying it back, I like went to give him a kiss again, and I thought, oh god, like if this is aired, I'm gonna look like that person that doesn't say it back. And I was like, oh, I love you too. But it was just complete. I just think you're so charged with adrenaline
Yeah.
that when he left that, like I couldn't remember what he looked like.
mm.
All I can remember was he dressed smart and he was taller than me and he had nice teeth.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, I think that colors some of the reactions that we see a little bit as well, because that is a lot. You're seeing somebody for the first time, trying to
Mhm,
match a voice to a face,
mhm,
also dealing with all these cameras in your face. So I'm
mhm.
sure
Yeah.
it amps up the reaction a little
I
bit.
love to watch it back because when he said to me, "I love you," I was like, "Oh, he did not just say."
How was you all's like because the story I hear, you know,
Oh,
you slid into the DMs, reconnected. So it was an airport. You drove 6 hours, waited two more. So
yeah,
what was that connection like the first time you guys saw each other?
it was
Did you
definitely
message me? I think, yeah, you DM me, didn't you? I
yeah, I
think.
think it was about I'd spent 24 hours with Ross and he was just a
Mm,
completely different person off
mm,
camera. Like things that we'd agreed on and that we'd said that we enjoyed or like mutual connections. He was like, "Oh no, I
mm,
don't like that." And
mm.
like he was like, "I was only on there to promote my business." And I was like,
What he
Oh,
said
wow.
that?
he was like, "I'm only on this
Wow.
business." And I was like, You are like I remember sitting and having breakfast with him and I was like, "You are just not the person for me." Like
Wow. So when
Hey.
we redo our list of like worst men in Love is Blind history, we'll make sure we add him
Look, no one's
and
gonna
tell
know who
them
he
to
is.
reference this interview for detail.
and I was just like so basically, I could have WhatsApped you because we were all in a group chat by this point of like all the rejects that hadn't been followed. So I could have just taken his number, but I went onto his Instagram and I was like, it's really weird because when you've spent 2 weeks of speaking to somebody like day in, day out and looking forward to hearing their voice and messaging, I was like, I'm actually missing him. Like, where is he? What's he doing? Like, so I went onto his
What does it look
Instagram.
like?
Went onto his Instagram and he's actually posted a story. And I know because my Instagram's open, like if you just DM somebody, it goes into requests. But if you
Mhm.
respond to somebody's story, it gets replied to story. So he'd posted something about an event in Ibiza, and I'd messaged him saying flights question mark. It's like, hang on, and you meant to be on your honeymoon and you off getting engaged and married. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, that was it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then you were flying back like maybe 4 or 5 days later, and I think because we had such a strong connection and we very nearly did get engaged, it would have been wild for us not to meet each other. And let's be honest, obviously we've checked each other's Instagram, so we half know what. Well, we're not half. We know what each of us look like. So, yeah, that was it. I drove to Bristol, didn't I?
Yeah.
We had that first meet up, which was wild.
It was like my
crazy.
heart was racing, and I just remember walking through. It was like our own little reveal because like the doors parted as well.
Aww.
And he had his back to me, and he was like looking at the arrival screen. And there was no one else really there, was it?
No.
It was weird. And as he turned around, and he just did this like little excited step, and I was like,
Aww.
and we just had like a big hug in a case. And James, bless him, he stopped this couple, and he was like, "Excuse me, can you take a picture of us, please?" He was like, "I need to document this moment."
Yeah, we got a picture.
Oh, that's cute.
Very
you guys have to
cute.
show us the picture. Like, is it on your Instagram?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
on our
It
Instagram.
is.
Okay.
It's us. You'll see. I've got my suitcase, and James there in the arrival.
Okay.
Very cute. Very cute. James, now he can always say, Amy slid in my DMs first. So.
Right.
Yeah, it just goes to show because like even the girls were like, you can't message James, like you can't message him. And I was like, I'm going to message him. Like I'm not listening to you anymore. Like I'm going to do what I want to do. Because like even that in the pods, like there was certain, should we say red flags I saw in Ross? And I would voice them to the girls, and obviously they'd all dated him as well. And they were like, no, maybe he's just nervous. Like guy, what are you seeing that we're not seeing? And I was just like, there's just little red flags going up and they were like, oh, he's just nervous and he's excited, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But when then they were like, you can't message James, I was like, I'm doing it, like I'm messaging it.
No, go for it.
Yeah.
Like, one of the things that you mentioned, some of like the connections and the conversations you had with other women in the pods. And so let's kind of step back into the pods a little bit and talk about some of the relationships that you developed. I hear that the pod squad, the chambers are so like, just like, I don't want to say camp, but like it's just like unreal, like living in those quarters. So like, were there any like relationships that you developed? You mentioned Kieran and Megan, but for either of you, any relationships that you developed that you really felt like this is a friend and these folks, love them to bits. Is that what you guys say?
Do you mean what do you mean, the guys or the girls? Do you mean
The guys
either
for
side,
you?
like
Yeah.
the guys for you, and then
Yeah, I mean, me and Kieran, so super close. Me and Jed, Jack, Tom. Have I forgot anyone? I think that's it, isn't it? They're the main four guys that I got really close to. Kieran was, I think me and Kieran are very, very similar, like very, very similar. We actually got put on the flight next to each other when we were flying out to Sweden to film. It was pretty cool, and we just literally from that moment and when we came out, I had like an event in Ibiza in June, and him and Megan flew out for that, which was pretty cool, and Tom and Lowell, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I think for me that's a big part of it as well. Like I love my lads, I love my boys, and even my friends from all my best friends from a very young age, they were like, you're going to make a couple of best friends for life on that show. And I have, I've made sort of 3 or 4 best friends for life. So, it's pretty epic.
That's good.
Yeah.
Amy?
It's really interesting because I think the ones that you make bonds with is because obviously you're not allowed to spend time with people outside of the lounge and filming. So the ones that you make your bonds with are either the ones that you were sat next to on the plane going over, or the ones that aren't dating the same time as you. So like there's a lot like Katisha, I never saw her because we would always be dating at the same time, or no, we'd be on opposite shifts, so to speak. But yeah, I'd say like some of my closest friends were Lol, like she'll be a best friend for life. Tara, Megan, and Barda and Ashley. Like they're such sweeties, and there's just moments where them girls are your lifelines in there, you know,
Yeah.
and it gets to a point where I think as you get older, you're not in situations where you make new friends, you know. So to be in that environment and to have all gone through the same kind of situation, we call it, our group chat's called emotional trauma bonding because bonding through trauma.
Right.
But yeah, like we've definitely come away with friends for life, and it's nice because all us girls and all us boys all together are friends.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That's nice.
Yes.
Like you mentioned Ashley and Barda, and like post reunion, they had like just really horrible endings to those stories. What were your thoughts on that?
Jed, we actually got on really well.
Okay.
Again, I don't like our connection didn't go very far, whereas Billy was my
Hmm.
top three until the end. Um,
Really?
yeah, like he was my top three. He was lovely, you know. I'm just a bit gutted for Barda and Ashley that they didn't get the ending that they wanted because they were
Yeah.
genuine reasons, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very kind of gentle girls and loving girls that wanted their fairy tale ending as well. And I don't think there was any female in there that weren't in there for genuine reasons. Like
Sure.
we
For sure.
wanted to find somebody. So yeah, I'm just really sad for them because like I said to James, like we're just really fortunate that we can watch it back and have fond memories.
Yeah.
Whereas they've had to go through that heartbreak 7 months ago and now they've had to go through it all over
All over
again.
again. Yeah.
Yeah. And talk
How are
about
they
it over and over
doing? Yeah.
again.
Like, how are they doing? Like,
I feel like they're good. Barda is more upset from the kind of backlash she's getting online. And like, bless her, like, we were out one night and she was seeing TikToks of people speaking about her in Albania, and she was just like, it's horrendous. Like, what's going on online is horrendous. And I just don't think anybody should. I mean, we all kind of knew what we were signing up for. You know, like there was always going to be a bit of backlash somewhere along the lines.
I don't even think I've seen the backlash.
Yeah,
What
I
are they
think it's
saying
because
about
there wasn't
Barda?
enough. I think a lot of people, from what I've seen, they felt like there wasn't enough clarity in what was the
Oh,
issue
what was the issue
between
with?
them. And so, I think just off rip, when you hear a guy saying, "Oh, I want to take care of you," and then you hear a woman responding, at least the way it was edited up, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
oh, you missed out and things like that.
Yeah.
That keep
She's
coming
had
up.
like I almost started a war the other day in her comments on one of her posts, and I was like, I'm just gonna leave it because it's like,
Oh yeah, the comment warriors are strong. They will go toe to toe.
Right.
they're doing really well, bless
That's
them.
good.
Good.
And I think like she's definitely taken time out to heal,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
I think they're doing good.
Good.
That's good.
Were there any shocking or funny moments that happened behind the scenes that you feel like fans would love to hear? And then after that, I do want to go to the mixer. Did you guys go to the mixer?
I don't think
I went.
I
you went.
I wasn't invited. And
Well,
I
yeah,
think this is another thing because we can get to that later on. Let's what were we speaking about?
Yeah, shocking moments. Any shocking
Yeah,
moments
any
that we
shocking
didn't
moments?
see?
There is a moment, I wouldn't say it's necessarily shocking, but it is quite emotional, was the night before proposal day. We had like a Friday night date night, and my last date was with James, and I came out of there and I was just crying because I was breaking my heart because I was just like, I don't know what to do. And I remember Lol and Tara came around me and we just slid down the kitchen cupboards together to the floor, and I was just bawling, crying because I was just like, I just don't know what to do. Like I I've got two guys here and I just do not know what to do. But apart from that, I don't really think there was any shocking moments.
Well, I think my shocking moment is obviously knowing Sophie. Like, the chances of that are just so slim, and the fact that we sort of gathered it after like 3 minutes, because that first date,
Yeah.
obviously you only get like 5 minutes with everyone first date, so it's like name, age, location, a little bit of chit chat, when I came out, the producers were like, because they can see your dates. They're like, "Oh, what's going on here?" I was like, "I'm 99% sure I had a night out with her like a year ago or 2 years ago." So they were, "Oh,
Meaning like a date.
Fine, they just met on a night out and that was it. There was nothing more to it.
No,
I was
we
like, because
did,
y'all
'cause
knew each other's voices, so it wasn't no like, hey. It sounded like it was
we
a
had,
little bit more.
well, we yeah. Well, it wasn't more. No, we had like we met at like 7 in the evening, then we spent all night together.
Okay.
Not overnight, by the
Oh.
way.
Yeah,
I think as well, so obviously, as it was getting closer to proposal day, she had Kieran and Ross. And she came up to me one day and she kind of got in my face a little bit and she was like, "So are you ready for marriage? Are you ready to get married to Ross?" And I was like, "Whoa, like, aren't you in the same boat?" And she was like, "Who's your other connection?" And I was like, "James." And she was like, "Oh," because she obviously couldn't voice an opinion on James because they'd obviously been told they weren't allowed to. And
Yeah.
I was like, very weird reaction. Like,
Interesting.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so James, you went to the
Mixer.
mixer. Was Javin flirting?
Well, do you know what? I'll be honest with you. It was a complete waste of time me going. Like
Okay.
with like an hour to go. What I didn't understand is why they invited me to the mixer and not Amy. Like, because they knew we were together. And it was a bit strange, the mixer. Like, it was just exciting for me to go. Because what actually happened, we all then went out after the mixer. You actually you actually came over to Manchester, then we all went out together.
But you were at the after party and the party.
So, yeah.
Well, we all went out in Manchester.
Can I just say this? Sophie that night, she went up to you, didn't she?
Yeah, no, it's just
And
it's just like
no, but she knew we were together, and she went up to you and felt your bum at the bar.
yeah.
And
So,
felt she
What?
what?
She felt James's bum at the bar.
What?
Oh.
I thought that's what you said.
It was like a joke, thing, because that's how we first met.
Oh wow.
So it was just a joke thing. It was nothing
Sophie
major.
said, "I'm
Oh
leaving here with
my.
something."
I know, right? Like, and it's interesting because, like, much to like, we spoke with Katisha, not Katisha, but Yolanda about the situation, and she was just like, yes, there was flirting going on with the Javan situation. She's like, the photo booth was arguing. Like, did you guys see the photo booth? Did you guys see any of the flirting, or were you just kind of like, didn't really?
Well, to be honest, we weren't. We were all in the same area, like the booth, but there was like me, you, Kieran, Megan, Tom, Lowell, and then like Jav, Sophie, Yolanda. So we didn't see too much.
Okay.
Not enough for me to comment on what I think, don't think.
Okay.
I did see him in the photo booth. But that was it. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna do some games. One is gonna be about your classmates, and then one is gonna be about each other. Give us a name. Who is most likely to this? Okay. Who is most likely to be seen as like the most genuine person in the pods?
I would say Kieran and Megan. Like, what you see is what you get. Like,
It's
they are
giving that,
they are
yeah.
exactly the same
Yeah, 100%.
in real life as what everybody saw on the television.
That they are too much for us, like in a good way. Like when we went to Ibiza, they were just
never-ending batteries.
they're just and I'm like 38 next month, so I'm like, them days are over for me. I'm like,
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Who is most likely to be on reality TV again?
Kieran and Megan.
Really?
Hey, Anu.
I knew.
I can see that.
Like, you got to remember this. I say Kieran, and I say he'll be on this UK program called Strictly Come Dancing.
And they got that in the US.
What is it?
Obviously not.
It's like Dancing with the Stars or something.
Stars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see that.
Who's most likely to throw the best party?
Me?
You, James?
Well, no, I have like I organise parties. I run my own music event, but I'm like twice a year, have my good party. But
Lol, yeah, lol.
I wish that we got to see more of folks, because like I remember even with the preseason like pictures and everything, like you're seeing, like we did a post about like how the photographer like photographed everyone,
Yeah.
and then how you all looked. I will say, you look mostly the same. So like you, Sophie. There were a few folks who kind of looked mostly the same. You know, the photographer.
Where it just looked like there was like
captured
a filter, like
yeah.
Grainy one, yeah. I
Yeah.
do think in fairness, I was like, I think I am the best of a bad bunch.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely, because even other folks who like
Yolanda's
Megan
and
and Yolanda,
Megan's, they made
They-
them look really old. Like, what's going
Yeah.
on?
they just
Yeah.
drug them through the
So-
mud. Who is most likely to spill the tea? Who's a chatty Cathy?
Amy?
Amy.
Yeah, no, I can't hold any secrets in. I'm very much like open book. But who else?
Just go with you. It's fair enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All
Most
right.
likely to be misunderstood.
Was it Patrick? Did we misunderstand him or did we understand him?
Do you know what? He's such a lovely guy, isn't
Yeah,
he?
great,
He's
lovely soul.
such a lovely guy.
Yeah.
So lovely. And I just think it's been badly edited.
Mm.
It makes him look disingenuous, and I don't
Mm.
think he is.
So maybe it's him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Because they do edit him very like what is happening here, you know? But it's good to get that like insight. Who's likely to be the most to become a motivational speaker?
James.
Really?
Today I was like, babe, do you know what? I think you should do it. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Most likely to call out the producers.
Java.
Sophie? Sophie and Javid.
Yeah, no, that sounds so
that sounds
accurate.
spot on. Spot
Okay.
on.
And who is most likely to slide into someone's DMs after filming? Besides you, Amy.
Charlie.
Charlie was the one at the mixer. He was saying, Sophie was cute. He was kind of egging the guys on to say more than they probably should have.
Sorry.
Who is most likely to show up on Perfect Match?
Good rumors about this, have you?
I feel like it's Javid. I feel like Javid is probably getting teed up right now for it.
I would say Jed or Charlie.
Yeah,
okay.
that Jed seems like I could see Jed.
I could see him on there too.
All right, so we're gonna do like lightning round questions for each other. You know
You
this
just
game
point
where it's
to
like
each
who's the
other,
most likely
whoever-
point to yourself or point to him. All right, so who was the first to say I love you? All right, who apologizes? Oh, go ahead.
I was drunk.
You out. That sometimes the good stuff happens. Truth comes out. It's truth serum, okay?
Yes.
Who apologizes first?
Oh.
Sorry. I say to you, like, do you want to say sorry now? And you're like, sorry.
Who's the better cook?
Oh, me.
Oh, what you making? What's your favorite dish?
Oh, well, we like a steak, don't we?
Steak.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
It's just, I'll be honest, it's just a very easy answer because I can't cook.
James doesn't cook.
So-
Yeah.
Easy, innit?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, look at you. Yeah.
Who takes longer to get ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
Who's messier?
Who's messier? Oh, sorry.
So-
Oh my.
Babe, have you seen the bathroom after you've used it?
It's forbid. I'm not messy. It's just.
Have you seen that you use the living room as a second wardrobe?
I feel about equal. I say we're about equal then. Tidy up.
Who is more likely to binge watch a whole Netflix series in one sitting? You. And what do you watch? What do you like?
I've literally, in the last few days, I've literally just binge watched The Summer I Turned Pretty.
Oh, I want to watch that.
Yeah,
I do.
everyone's
It
been
looks
talking
good.
about it.
So good. I feel like you're reliving your teenage romance.
Really?
So good.
Love that. Thank you. You just put me on. I'm about to put that next. Cue
Yes.
that next up.
If you send in, do that. Great.
Who is the better dancer?
We're both
Who
like
had more
a good dance.
Who had more pod dates?
Oh, mate.
Who had more pod dates?
Yeah.
I'd say we had the same. Well, no, I had more because you couldn't date Sophie.
Who is more romantic?
Oh, that's
Oh,
nice. Yeah,
okay.
because we should have known because he didn't come with the boombox on the shoulders.
Yeah.
Like.
He did buy me flowers last week for our 1 year anniversary, didn't you?
Oh, that's nice.
Nice. Are you guys?
That's
You guys
nice.
aren't engaged, right? Not yet,
No.
or
We
okay,
have spoken.
okay.
You gotta do it big, James. You gotta do
Yeah.
it big because you
Yeah.
gotta do it big.
Yeah,
Just to wrap up, like, how would you describe each other, like, in terms of like what you really love about each other's like soul? Like, how would you describe what that is?
I always believed that opposites attracted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But we are literally like the same person, aren't we? Like, I will, like, to the point where, like, I'll think about something and, like, Google it. And then about 20 minutes later, he'd be like, oh, yeah, I was thinking about this. And I'm like, oh my God, literally, he was just Googling it. And we are
was very aligned.
we're just very aligned and very spontaneous. And almost when, like, it's not all sunshine and rainbows all the time. But I feel like we live in a generation where everything's very easily just, like, given up on.
Mm-hmm.
And neither of us are like, well, yeah, this is hard now, but that doesn't take away from the fact that we want to do life together. So we're going to stick through this. And we, like, even though the easy option is to be like, oh, do you know what? Like, we go with the distance, for example, right?
Yeah.
Like, we long distance, we live 6 hours away from each other.
Oh, wow.
Like, we couldn't have picked people on the opposite ends of the countries if we tried. And like, there's been times where like that's really hard, but we're gonna dig in even more because we want to be together. Like,
Just one, it wasn't even a thing of us like giving up, was it?
no,
Just
like it's
started doing
never.
it, didn't we? And then
We
and then,
just
yeah, it was
yeah,
time, wasn't it? But I think we're just very
we're
aligned.
very
And
similar.
you got you're very loyal, aren't you?
Mm,
Very honest, probably too honest sometimes. With me.
yeah.
Yeah, that looks crap. That looks crap on you. Doesn't look good. You don't look good.
And but then there's like certain qualities where I'm quite highly strung, and James is very laid back.
Mm.
And I like think the world is ending, and he's like, babe, like, really doesn't matter. Like, let's, take a little step back here now. And we communicate very well, don't we?
Yeah, that's a big part, isn't it?
Yeah.
Big part.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Alrighty,
Yeah, I
so
love
what's
this.
next for you guys?
Wow.
I want to get engaged.
Settled down a bit now. We've had a amazing year. Like, we've travelled a bit. We spent 3 months in Malta. We then came back to the UK in August. We're actually moving into an apartment in Cardiff from the beginning of so yeah, I think it's just time to. We've had sort of here, there, and everywhere. I work remotely, so it's been quite easy for me just to let's go here 2 months, let's go here for 1 month. I love it, but you're sick of packing your suitcase and unpacking it every 3 months.
Again, it's one of the things where James is very laid back and I'm quite highly strung, and I'm like, I can't live out of a suitcase anymore. And he's like,
No.
It's fine.
yeah, but I'm like, no, I want our own place, and I want to do a little bit of settling down. Like, we've almost had our year of a whirlwind, and we're like, it's time to kind of plant some roots a little bit now.
Yeah. And James, you have 2 daughters, right? So everything is copacetic, it seems like, from the interview with Tadum. Is it Tadum or Tadam?
Tadam.
Okay.
Yeah. Fine, yeah. It was just, thing is, my girls are they're quite sociable. They're similar to me. They're quite easygoing. Amy's very good with kids. It was never. I knew it was never going to be an issue or any sort of problem. And we're actually back in Lincolnshire this weekend, so we've had the kids today, haven't we? Just doing TikToks, doing girly stuff.
Oh, that's cute.
It's great.
Cute.
The 2
That's
daughters.
cute.
So
how old are they?
9 and 11.
Oh, that's cute.
Very cute. Well, thank you guys
right.
so much for coming.
Thanks for having us. We've loved it.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Honestly, so many people have been like, "Where's your story? Where's your story? Like, give us a story time." We're like, it's too long for a story time. Like, in 60 minutes. But yeah, no, thanks so much.
Okay, well, when you guys get engaged, make sure you send us the engagement photos.
I
So we could
know,
post it for
right?
you all on Black Girls Talking
Yeah.
TV. For all the listeners out there, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell at Black Girls Talking TV. And we will catch you for the next one. Bye.
All right. Thank you guys. Bye.